Sitting with us at the table, we have Juwan and Chanen Johnson. Enjoy our conversation. Take a seat, get comfortable, because it's time to stay a while. I'm your host, Tommi Vincent, and we are talking with Juwan and Chanen Johnson.
Oh, thank you.
How you guys doing?
Man, we're great. Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yes,
Thank you. Yes, I appreciate you all taking a seat and having a conversation with me.
Absolutely.
And as we talked about before we got into this conversation, that here at this table, we are vested in who you are
Definitely.
and why you do what you do and how you do what you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So my first question out the gate, and I'm going to start with you, Chanen.
love it.
Who is Chanen?
Man, who am I? I'm a daughter, a wife, a creator. There's so many things. The most important right now, my sweet baby girl. I'm a mom right now. It's the best. We have a 7-month-old.
Okay.
Absolutely loving motherhood. It's amazing. But yeah, life's fun
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. For myself, I always like to point out that I'm a servant of Christ. I think if we forget that part, then we miss the part of why we're here. I'm a father. Most importantly, a husband. I feel like she comes first and foremost. I'm a football player. I'm a creator. I'm a son. I'm all those things. But just trying to embody all that is a lot. But I'm all those things and more.
So you both, in your introduction, you gave titles to who you are.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When you think about yourself, Juwan,
Yeah.
what would you say if someone was to describe you? What word would you want them to use?
Bold.
Bold.
And the one thing is because I just want to live bold. I feel like if we live in such a way that it is secretive, people get the wrong impersonation of me. They think that I'm secretive or not genuine. I just want to be a very bold person. And that's how I've always sort of been coming into my own. I like to think my wife thinks I'm bold as well, but that's kind of the biggest thing, just bold.
Do you agree with that word from
I
him?
think he's so bold. I tell him all the time, I'm like, I want to be more like you, like the confidence that you have to be yourself. It's hard to be that way on the internet, and it's something we both strive to do a lot. We are very vulnerable, and sometimes it scares me a little bit. But a wife in the NFL, what it's really like to be a mom who can have fun and have a fun career on the internet. And like, there's so many things that are just different about the lifestyle that we live that people think. So I like to inspire women to live how they want to live and be the way they want to be, because it's all a stereotype.
Great.
So what is that stereotype that you're referencing?
Yeah. When we first started social media, we put some vulnerable content out there, and people were saying the same stuff that everyone always says. I'm with him for the money, or I trapped him, or, all the stereotypes that people just think, like, I don't do anything with my life. I don't have an identity. All of those things. And I was like, you know what? I really don't like this. So I'm going to go out of my way to show people what my identity really is and how I like to live my life. And I'm confident in who I am, and that it's really not true, like the way that people think of us.
Yeah. True.
So does that matter to you? What people think about you? Is that a driving force? Because and I'm asking that question because you said you want to be people to know you as someone that's bold. And boldness requires a bit of, I don't care what you think about me, I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah. Exactly.
So does that matter to you? Especially you talked about how you all have made a decision to be vulnerable. You're on a platform where whatever you share, all the people, which is the whole wide world, have access to whatever it is that you're sharing. So do you care what people think?
No. It's like I'm trying to like recite scriptures to her, and this was one of the scriptures that I recited to her. Was obviously I'm not trying to approve of people, but of God. If pleasing people were my goal, I wouldn't be a servant of Christ. And that's in Galatians. And I try to recite that to her, like, look, people are going to say whatever they want to say.
Exactly.
You're going to want to please people, but at the end of the day, it's like you have to find a way where you have to focus on God more than you are with people, because if you focus on people, you're gonna miss the mark. Like you're gonna miss the goal that you have. You're gonna miss a lot of things, and I don't want her to live in such a way where people's feelings always fluctuate.
Yeah.
They're gonna say you're doing good one day, you can do the same thing tomorrow, and they'll be like, oh, that's messed up. Like, how does that make sense?
If we live our lives based on that, we're gonna be fluttering in the wind the same way their opinions are. It's like have a foundation and be solid in who you are, because
the one thing people say is like, you can't catch wind. Like if you're trying to catch the wind, you're gonna miss it every time. And that's how people are. Like people will fluctuate so much. And like, how can we find a way where we can just be in one true answer every time? And we can only find that in Christ. But the thing is, we try to find it with people, we're gonna miss it every time. We can never make people happy.
Somebody once said to me that if you live by the praise, you'll die by the criticism.
It's so true.
That's so good.
And
That's so good.
I remember, so Troy and I have been married. My husband Troy, we've been married for 30 years, March 19th.
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh,
That's
congrats.
amazing.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
And I remember when we first got married, when we first got married, people would ask me, so what are you going to do?
Right.
Are you going to sit at home all day? Like, it was like, and Troy never questioned the choices that I was making in life, or we never even had an opportunity to talk about what did we want our family to look like.
Yeah.
But immediately I felt this weight and this pressure to succumb to, I gotta be doing something. And I did a lot of things, but it was for the wrong reasons.
100%.
Because I wanted to prove I'm not after what he has.
Right.
I'm self-sufficient. Like, so everything was for the wrong reason.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And it took years for me to get to the place where I recognize I got to get people's opinions out of my mind.
That's tough.
Yeah.
So that I can stabilize my thinking.
That's true.
And so that area of vulnerability that you're talking about, that you display for everyone, is there a line for you all where that you have established as your non-negotiable with what you make public?
Obviously we honor each other. Like if there's something that makes him uncomfortable, makes me uncomfortable, like we'll not post it. But there's not really anything that is off limits. This became a passion of mine because, like I was saying, the stereotype, what people think, like she's not doing anything. What is she going to do? Similar to what you experienced. And I think I cared too much at the beginning. I cared a lot when people would say something mean, like, oh my gosh, like she's not going to do anything with her life. I'm like, dang, like that hurts, because before he was in the NFL, I was a teacher and I had to quit to move. And like people didn't know that about me. And I felt the need to explain myself and it wasn't necessary. So I was like, you know what? The things that people say about us, I'm going to start to make jokes about it. And that's where our content kind of came from, is like people see us fully joking about the stereotype.
So it's like a parody.
It's a parody.
Okay.
Because it's like, you're not going to sit here and tell me something about myself that you don't even know. Like, I know who I am. So now we're joking about it and like proving y'all wrong. Like, clearly that's not who I am. But it was hard at first. But nothing's off limits. Down to our tragedies in life, we are very much so open about it.
But even then, it's just like people only get like a 30-second snippet of a video and try to make an assumption of our life. And the thing is, like, we can't let like somebody's opinion determine like who I am. Like, it's a 30-minute video that could be either satire or something serious. Cause we both do satire and you're really good at that. Like, I'm just like,
we mix it up.
Like sometimes I'm like, all right, like that kind of hurt, but like, you serious or what? Like, I'm trying to figure it out. But the thing is, like, people can't always look too deep into it. Once they try,
they do.
And the thing is, like, that's how we make our videos. Like, we keep them guessing. And so it's like, how can we make them to keep guessing and not find the answers? Because if they think it's too right or too wrong, they just say, I don't know, I'm gonna just keep watching so I figure it out. And so that's how we kind of go off of it.
So you both are student athletes, or were.
Yeah.
So there is a level of commitment and work ethic that comes from that.
Definitely.
So before you two are together, there was something that was established in both of you.
Absolutely.
How, and I'm going to start with you, Shannon, your experience and your work ethic as a collegiate athlete.
Yeah.
How does what you learned through that time in your life show up now as an adult with a child, with a husband, and also to the point of what you talked about, you've created this lane for yourself?
Yeah. First of all, I did gymnastics. So I'm very type A, which is good for getting things done because Juwan and I are very polar opposite. Like he's the chill one and I'm the like schedule type of girl.
No
So I'm the one like handling our days and making sure everything's getting done, which honestly ended up great for us because it's like a cool little balance of like just keeping us at peace. But yeah, gymnastics was definitely huge for me and like getting me prepared for this lifestyle as well. I was just talking with some people about this earlier today that, you know, having my background in sports made it easy for me to kind of figure out his life without getting upset. Because sometimes it's easy to be like, well, I think that's a big thing that needs to be talked about is it does feel like sometimes you have to put some things on the back burner from yourself just because 6 months out the year, we do have to live in a certain state and that's a non-negotiable. Or we do have to go do things that, you know, because your job is priority for 6 months out the year. And then the other 6 months, it's my turn and we get to go do what I want to do. But showing me like, this is a schedule. And when a coach says you have to be somewhere at a certain time, you can't like argue it. So it's like during football camp when he's there for a month long, like, you know, if I wasn't an athlete before, I'd be like, what do you mean? You have to say no, tell him. But like, hey, I get it. I do get it.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. Like you raised a great point that you just sort of come into like a routine. It's just like, it's familiar. It's something that we've been doing all of our lives, especially for her. She's been doing it since she was 3. Like she was doing that since she was 3, all the way up until 24.
Yeah.
She was doing gymnastics for 21 years. And right now, like I've started when I was 7 and now I'm 27 right now. So I've been doing it for 20 years. So we already have like a routine of how it is and what it's like. So I'm glad we have that understanding of just like, Shan, I know this is priority. I know it sucks. It's not what we want to do. It's just like a baby, like they have to get shots. We hate that they cry. We hate that they feel a certain way, but they got to do it. They get through it because, you know, this is what we have to do. But, you know, it's going to be great when it's all said and done. So, yeah, it's just a sacrifice, honestly.
Sacrifice.
Well, in the profession of a professional athlete, one thing is for sure, it's going to come to an end.
That's true.
Yeah.
And the ability to be able to plan and have other things in life that you're pursuing and able to do that simultaneously as a professional athlete, that is a special opportunity.
Definitely.
Because it creates opportunity post your professional career.
That's true.
And when you think about that and you are aware that one day this will come to an end.
That's true.
Yeah.
And you have this focus for yourself and it's inclusive of the family, but it's clear that you're the type A, you said that, you know, so you're really working to make that successful for you all.
Definitely.
Yeah.
How will you shift from the space of we have this 6-month type of thing to now full time, your life is on blast?
Yeah. It's a great question. Honestly, it would just have to come with just a routine. I'm really routine driven. She's really schedule driven. So like, if this happened, like, all right, like Shane, like just like this morning, like I was working out. I've been working out every day this week at like 6:30. And she's like, Juwan, I need you. I was like, I know, but it's just the routine I have. And so the thing is, it's just like, I think it's just gonna come to a compromise. It's like what one of my favorite words we use is reciprocity. Like we have to give as much as we're like giving to each other. So it's just like the equal amount. And we'll find what we necessarily need. Like I don't necessarily know how it's gonna work. When it's 12 months on blast, I'm not sure. But we'll come to an understanding like this is what we need because we definitely need rest in between a lot of that. Because
I think slow it down.
Yeah, we're always on the go. We're always trying to pick up something to do. We're always trying to connect with somebody. We're always trying to help somebody. So we're just trying to find some time to rest. And I think we'll figure it out. It'll be just fine.
You mentioned schedule versus routine.
Yeah.
Now, someone may hear that and think, what's the difference between the two?
Right.
Can you speak to that more?
Yeah.
So people can understand the difference.
Yeah. So I feel like a schedule is sometimes always subject to change. And I feel like, you could have a little leeway, but I feel like a routine is something that's not mandatory, but it's just something you just love to do. Like routine is just like, man, I love doing this. And I feel like a schedule is just like something, I'm just doing it. And I love my routine. I love waking up. I love working out. I feel like it's more just a lifestyle thing. But I feel like a schedule is something that you're just dragging to do. Like, oh, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this.
It's the OCD in me is scheduling. He's like, I love this. I'm going to do this every day. It's my routine. I'm like, what do we have to get done today?
Right. And the thing, there's nothing wrong. The thing is, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But it's just like, the viewpoint of a schedule and a routine is just a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Chanen, what is something, and you said you're vulnerable on social media, so people believe they know all there is to know about you.
Yeah.
You know, that's, people think that anyway.
Yeah.
When someone's social media is curated to share the highlights of their life, people think, oh, we got the inside scoop on that person. What is something about Chanen that no one knows about you via social media?
Dang, that's a crazy question.
It's a great question.
That's really good. Kind of like Juwan was saying, it's definitely our relationship with Christ.
Yeah.
We share it to a degree on the internet, and it's something that we're passionate about sharing, of course. But it's definitely our everything, and it's not something that's like always on the internet.
Yeah.
People have their feelings of the type of relationship that we are, and it's always a stereotype. Is he faithful? He's a football player, all this stuff. And it's just like, I wish y'all knew what our relationship was really like, because the love that we have for each other is so intense because of the love we have for God. But that's something that's like not as public as it's out there, but it's so much deeper than people really know.
Yeah. I feel like for you, this is just answering your own question.
Yeah.
I feel like people don't know how compassionate she is. Like she's a very compassionate person. She cares for a lot of people. And a lot of people don't see that. I mean, people see like how happy she is and how funny she is and how loving she is towards me. But the people who see her outside, like she is so engulfed in like people, making people's day, making people happy. And a lot of people don't see that. Yeah. Thanks. And I guess for myself, I feel like we put a lot out there. So I feel like it's really, really hard. But I feel like for the most part, I have a soft side. I think, I mean, I have girls, and that's why I feel like I'll have a lot of girls. I'm I'm very soft and very gentle. But people think men are just like so hard and hard.
Yeah.
Like, shoot, Jesus what? That's the one that showed us Jesus what? Like, shoot. Like, he's not like he's soft, but it's like, you know, people have like a sympathy like side, like a soft side to people. So
I think it's wonderful that he shows that side of himself on the internet. Not all of it, but like being a loving husband, being a good man, like being a soft man, like that's okay. That's really nice that he can like understand his emotions and like express them properly.
Definitely.
Like, I wish more men would do that, and I'm hoping people are encouraged by that. You know.
Mm-hmm. So how long have you guys been married?
4 years.
We're coming up before. So next week will be 4
in Vegas. We got married in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yes,
so did you have a wedding or like a?
It's at the courthouse.
It was 2020. We knew we wanted to get married.
Right.
And it was like, he didn't have his birth certificate.
I didn't have my birth certificate.
And we were like, where can we go get married without one?
Yeah, no doubt.
Sure enough.
No doubt. Vegas
Elvis did not marry us. We just went to the courthouse.
Went to a courthouse. We over there like we got snot in our nose. She got tears. And this guy looking at like
the emotions. Right. It was $100.
Just say I do, so I can do my next one. That's kind of like he was like, come on, let's go. Yo.
Listen, it proved to me that weddings are not necessary. Okay, because I was fully emotional and fully. I had a whole wedding.
You was in it.
Yes, girl. And I had to spend $100 instead of $1,000. So I'll take
me
it.
and Troy, 30 years.
Yeah.
We didn't have a wedding.
I love that.
We got married at the Fort Lauderdale Wedding Chapel.
Come on.
It was me and Troy. We had on jean shorts, a t-shirt, sneakers.
I love
His
that.
grandfather happened to be in town.
Oh, man.
And Troy was at Marco Coleman was having a golf tournament.
Wow.
Troy called and said, hey, look in the yellow pages and find somewhere for us to get married when I come home this weekend. I said, bet.
Oh, yeah. Listen, we're always ready.
and you go find something so we can get married. We got to get married now. Come on.
No, but don't you kind of feel like that was more special?
I don't regret it one bit.
No.
Definitely.
The
I don't.
intimacy
Yeah,
of the
definitely.
whole thing, like not
doubt.
doing it for other people,
That's true.
like
That's
I
true.
would never change that.
That's
for the
true.
world.
That was great.
And
was
everybody that was present, myself and Troy and his grandfather,
Yeah.
they were happy for us.
Yeah.
And
That's
that's
true.
what matters.
That's the piece.
That's true.
The piece for me when I look at it, and then I know the experiences I had throughout my life pertaining to our relationship, and maybe people who were not always in
Yeah.
agreement about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The people that mattered,
Yeah.
and that celebrate us and care,
Yeah.
they
Yes.
were present.
I love that.
That's beautiful.
I like
Yes.
that.
That's so
That is so
beautiful.
amazing.
I'm
That
so
is so
happy.
amazing.
That's the best story
Yeah.
ever. It's
So
just
I'm encouraged for you guys.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
I
We
can't
trying
wait
to get
till
to
we
where
get
y'all
to
at.
30. Yeah.
No doubt. We trying to get there.
Keep working.
Absolutely.
Just keep putting in the work and
Absolutely.
keep loving each other,
For
and
sure.
Yeah.
you'll get
For
there.
sure.
And also make sure you have space for yourselves
For sure.
Yeah.
in the process.
Absolutely.
Like I know you're building together,
Yeah.
but make sure Shannon is building.
Yeah.
Make sure Juwan is building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that way you come together whole. It's not a part of you and a part of,
I appreciate
you. It's both of you
Yeah.
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
create
Exactly.
multiplication.
Great advice.
You know what I'm saying?
Great advice.
Totally.
Thank you.
I
So,
love it.
Absolutely.
but I'm so grateful that you all took time out your schedule.
Absolutely. I thank you for having us.
That's so cool.
Thank you for having us.
Listen, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for Brother Maul.
Absolutely.
Everybody know
Hooked
Brother
it up.
Maul is the man.
You know
He
he's
says
on here
you're a
somewhere.
chef.
You know
I
he's on
am.
somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
I am.
That's amazing.
I've done many things throughout the course of me and Troy's relationship.
Yeah.
Really working to find who I am
Yeah.
and what it is that I desire to
Yeah.
do. And I'm doing that right now.
I love
That's
that.
amazing.
Speaking to people, sharing their stories in this platform
I love
to
that.
share those stories is important. to me.
I love that.
I
This
love
is
it.
this is amazing. This is so wholesome. This is so chill.
This
Like
is the
this is
interview
so
we
like
needed today. Out of all the
honestly,
interviews,
like
this is it.
seriously, like this was
I
like
appreciate
so
that.
Thank you so much.
very
I appreciate
Thank you
that.
so much.
But thank you so
Appreciate
much
you.
for joining me today.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.